She was the daughter he never wanted, beaten, starved, denied an education simply because she was a girl. But years later, she returned not in anger, but in power. Mr. Richard had always believed sons were gifts and daughters were burdens. When his wife, Caroline, gave birth to a girl after a long and difficult labor, Richard didn't so much as hold the child. He stood at the hospital window, jaw clenched, eyes cold, and muttered, "Another mouth to feed, useless." The girl was named Lily, and from the very beginning, her life was defined by silence and survival. Richard made it clear she was unwanted. At home, Caroline bore the brunt of his rage. He beat her when he was angry, which was often, and when he wasn't hitting her, he was starving them, sometimes leaving the house for days and locking the cupboards. He believed that starving them would teach them discipline. But everyone knew it was just punishment for being female. He refused to pay for Lily's education. "Girls don't need schooling," he scoffed. "They just grow up, sleep with boys, and become someone's problem." But Lily was different. She watched. She listened. She learned from books left in the trash, from bits of torn newspapers, from the TV in their neighbor's home. At night, while her mother wept silently beside her on the mattress, Lily would whisper her dreams. "I'll become something, Mum. I'll build you a house. I'll buy you a car. You'll see." Caroline always smiled at that. Not because she believed it could happen, but because she needed to. Years later, by the time Lily was 16, she had gotten scholarships from community donors who saw her potential. A retired school teacher, Mrs. Stephen, noticed her one day reading an old biology textbook on the sidewalk and offered to teach her after school. That was the beginning. Lily soared. She studied day and night, cleaned people's homes on weekends, and eventually got a full scholarship to a prestigious university. She studied finance and technology, and within a few years after graduation, she was running her own company, an online education platform for underserved children. Before her 30th birthday, Lily bought a beautiful 4-bedroom home for her mother in a peaceful estate. She surprised Caroline with a silver sedan parked in the driveway. That day, Caroline cried for the first time in years, not from pain, but from joy. "You did it, Lily. You really did it." But Lily had one more journey to. Richard now lived in a crumbling one-room flat on the edge of town. Old age had not been kind to him. His legs were weak. His voice barely carried. The garage he once owned was gone, sold off to pay gambling debts. He hadn't seen Caroline or Lily in over a decade. One afternoon, there was a knock at his door. He shuffled to open it, expecting the landlord. Instead, it was Lily. She stood there, tall and poised, dressed in simple elegance. Her eyes were kind, but unreadable. "Hello, Dad," she said. Richard stared at her, stunned. He hadn't heard that word from her in 20 years. He opened his mouth, but no words came. "I just wanted to see how you were doing," she continued. "I brought you something." She handed him an envelope. Inside was a check enough to keep him comfortable for months, if not years. He stared at it, then at her. "Why?" he asked, voice hoarse. "After everything I did to you, to your mother, why would you help me?" Lily looked at him, calm and unwavering. "Because I learned that we don't return hate for hate, and because Mum taught me to be better, not bitter." Tears slipped down Richard's face. For the first time in his life, He felt something he'd never let himself feel before. Regret. "I was wrong," he whispered. "I should have trained you. I should have loved you." Lily gave a sad smile. "Yes, you should have. But I became who I am in spite of you, not because of you." She left shortly after, leaving behind silence and the soft scent of the lavender perfume her mother once wore. Mr. Richard would sit with that envelope in his hand for hours. Not because of the money, but because of the memory. The daughter he rejected had become the woman he now depended on. And every time he saw her name on the check, he whispered the same words: "I should have trained my girl child." But some lessons come too late.